Hi guys, welcome to today's tutorial. Today we'll be looking at NABTEB Mathematics Past Question Theories. Alright, our first question says, solve for x in 8 raised to power 3x times 8 raised to power minus 1 equals 32. Now, we have 8 raised to power 3x times 8 raised to power minus 1 equals 32. Alright. First off, we can break all this down to the powers of 2. So this will give us 2 raised to power 3 brackets 3x. Why? Because 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 3 places will give us 8 times 2 raised to power 3 minus 1 equals, now 32 will give us 2 raised to power 5. Alright, now since we have same basis, we will now equate our basis to be 3, okay? First off, before equating our basis, we turn our multiplication sign to division, applying the indices law, where we have a raised to power n times a raised to power n would give us a raised to power n plus n. Now, applying our indices law here, we have it as 2 raised to power 3 times 3, 9x, times 2 raised to power minus 3 equals 2 raised to power 5. So now applying this law here, we have it as 2 raised to power 9x minus 3 equals 2 raised to power 5. Now this will give us 2 raised to power 9x minus 3 equals 2 raised to power 5. Minus times plus will give us a minus. Now we can now equate our basis. This cancelling this would give us 9x minus 3 equals 5. So negative 3 going over, or adding 3 to both sides, this will become 9x minus 3 plus 3 equals 5 plus 3. This cancels out, leaving us with 9x equals 8. So therefore, our x equals 8 over 9. So the value of x would be 8 over 9. Now, to the B part, we have simplified without using log tables. Now, we have log 27 over log 3. Okay? Now, we know that log 27 can be broken down to be log 3 raised to power 3, okay, which is 3 times 3 times 3 will give us 27. So this can be written as 3 log 3, okay. Now bear in mind that our log 27 will give us 3 log 3. We will now impute it, replacing it here. We have it as 3 log 3 all over log 3. So this cancels this, leaving our answer as 3. So our log 27 over 3 would give us 3. The sixth term of a GP is 1215. If the common ratio is 3, find the third term. Now we are given that our sixth term is 1215. Now since we are dealing with geometric progression, we know that our Tn is Arn minus 1. That's a general formula for geometric progression. Now, since we are looking at T6, alright, where A is our first term, R is our common ratio, and N is our number of terms. Now, for the sixth term, we have it as AR 6 minus 1, which will give us AR raised to power 5. Now, from our question, we're given our common ratio to be 3, alright? So we have to find our first term. Common ratio is 3, and our T6 is 1215. So substituting this into this, knowing that our T6 equals AR raised to power 5, alright? Where T6 is 1215 equals A times R, which is 3 raised to power 5. Now, our 3 raised to power 5 would be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 which gives us 1215 equals 243a. Okay, so therefore our A would be 1215 divided by 243. So this would be 1215 divided by 243 would give us 5. So our first term for this geometric progression would be 5. Now, the question says find the third term. So T3 would be AR 3 minus 1, which would be AR raised to power 2. Now, bearing in mind that our first term is 5, so our T3 would be first term is 5 times our common ratio, which is 3 raised to power 2. So this will give us 5 times 9. 3 times 3 will give us 9. So 5 times 9 will give us 45. So our third term for the geometric progression is 45. Now, to the B aspect of it, it says ABC is a triangle with BC equals 8.4 centimeters and angle ADC is 90 degrees. The area of the triangle is 40.16 centimeters squared. Find AD. Find with the length of AD. So if we have a triangle this way, all right, we have A, B, C. Now dividing this triangle into 2 forms our line AD. So they said angle ADC is 90 degrees, and we know that BC is 8.4 centimeters. Now, having this, we are told that the area of the triangle ABC, area of triangle ABC is 40.16 centimeters squared. All right, so we know that our formula for area of triangle equals half base times height, or we can use half AB sine theta. But this is majorly used when we have two sides known. So we can use this because we have the base of our angle, and we are looking for the height, h. All right, now applying this formula in this question as area equals half base times height, okay, area is already given to us as 40.16 equals half times our base is 8.4 times our height, h. Okay, so now we can divide this to be 4.2. Okay, we have 40.16 equals 4.2 times height. So our height will be 40.16 divided by 4.2, which would give us 40.16 divided by 4.2 would give us 9.56 centimeters. So therefore, our AD would be 9.56 centimeters. Our next question says, simplify 0.0054 times 8.19 divided by 0.000243, leaving your answer in standard form. So we have it as 0.0054 times 8.19 divided by 0.000243. Now, it says leave your answer in standard form. All right, now, for us to get our answer in standard form, let's try to simplify this. We have this as 0.0054. Rewriting it will give us 54 times 10 raised to power 1, 2, 3, 4 minus 4. And we have 8.19. And putting all this in whole number will give us 819 times 10 raised to power 1, 2 minus 2. And we have the next one as 0.000243. would give us 243 times 10 raised to power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minus 6. Now, replacing all this here, we have it as 54 times 10 raised to power minus 4 times 819 times 10 raised to power minus 2 all over 243 times 10 raised to power minus 6. Now, this we would have as 54, applying our indices rule, times 819 times 10 raised to power minus 4 plus minus 2. All right, all over 243 times 10 raised to power minus 6. Okay, so from here, we would have it as 54 times 819 times 10 raised to power minus 6 all over 243. Now, okay, let me have this as times 10 raised to power minus 6. This division will turn to minus 6. Okay, so next we have 54 times 819 all over 243 times 10 raised to power minus 6 plus 6 will give us 0. So this becomes 54 times 816 will give us 54 times 819 would give us 44226 divided by 243 times 10 raised to power 0. And we know that in our law of indices, anything divided by 0 is 1. Anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. So this divided by this will give us 182 times 1, which will be 182. Now, our question says, leave in standard form. Now, for us to write this in standard form, our decimal point must be between our first and second non-zero digits. So this we have as 1.82 times 10 raised to power 2. Why? Because we are moving our point from here 1, 2 twice. So it will be 1.82 times 10 raised to power 2. So with this, we've solved this in standard form. Our next question says, a length of 8.85 meter is increased to 9.37 meter. Calculate the increase. Now, if we are to calculate the percentage increase, this would be our actual measurement is 8.85 meters. Now, new measurement is 9.37 meters. Now, the difference between our measurement, our error, would be 9.37 minus 8.85 meters, which will give us 9.37 minus 8.85 would give us 0.52 meters. Now, for us to calculate our percentage error, we have it as error all over the actual measurement times 100 all over 1. Now, our error here is 0.52 all over the actual measurement 8.82 times 100 over 1. So with this, we have as 52 all over 8.82. Now, 52 divided by 8.82, 52 divided by 8.82, we have it as 5.896%, okay, which approximately will be 5.9%. So with our increase, our percentage increase would be 5.9%. 65 of the workers in a certain company in Lagos were interviewed about the means of transportation to work on a particular day. Each of them used one or more of the means shown in the Venn diagram below. All right. Now we have a Venn diagram as bus. This is car, and this is bike. So out of them, 8 people used the 3 means. Then we have this as X. 5 people used bike or buses, and we have Y. We have 3 people using car and bus, so we have this as Z. Now our question says, given that 27 workers used bike, so a total of 27 workers used bike and 20 used bus. Now we should find the value of X and the number of workers that used car alone. So we have to find the number of workers that used car alone. Now, in doing this, from our question here, we told that total interviewed, we are 65, all right? And total number of people that used bike are 27. So for us to find X, considering our bike cycle alone, we would have it as bike, okay? Now, total number of people that use bike 27 equals X plus 8 plus 5, okay? X plus 8 plus 5. So this we have as 27 equals 2X plus 13. Okay, now from here, we'll subtract 13 from both sides. This gives us 27 minus 13 equals 2x. So 27 minus 13 would give us 7 minus 3 will give us 4. 2 minus 1. So 14 equals 2x. So therefore, our x equals 14 over 2, which is 7. So that means our x equals 7 and this equals 7. Since they are both same numbers, x. All right, now our next question says we should find those that used car alone. But before we can get those that used car alone, we need to find those that used bus alone. All right, so for bus only, we are told that bus 20. So considering our bus cycle here, we have it as 20 equals 5 plus 8 plus 3 plus y. All right, so this leaves us with 20 equals 8 plus 8, 16 plus y. So therefore, y equals 20 minus 16, which is 4. So the value of y here would be 4. Okay, having a y as 4, now we can calculate those that used car only. Now for car only, all right, would be the summation of all those numbers equal the total. All right, so car only will become 65, which is a total number of people interviewed. 7 plus 7 plus 5 plus 8 plus 3 plus 4 plus z. Okay, so our 65 would be 7 plus 7 plus 5 plus 8 plus 3 plus 4. 7 plus 7 plus 5 plus 8 plus 3 plus 4, which gives us 34 plus z. So z equals 65 minus 34. Okay, 65 minus 34 would give us minus 65 would give us Z equals 31. So 31 people used car only. The center of the cycle ABC is O. If the radius is 8 cm and angle ABC is an angle ACB, that should be ACB, is 40 degrees. Calculate the length of chord AB and the perpendicular OM. So in this cycle, we have it as we have A, B, and C. And we are told that angle C is 40 degrees, all right, with center O. And we have it this way and this way. Our radius as 8 cm. Now, we have to calculate the chord AB. Now, bearing in mind that this is a perpendicular M. All right, now, first off, for us to get our chord AB, all right, we have to find this angle, all right, and using it to calculate for chord AB. Now, in our theorem, we know that angle at center is twice angle at circumference. That is to say, when you have an angle at the circumference, 2 times of your angle at circumference forms the angle at center. Now we have this theorem from this, having this as C, A, and B. So this is 40. Now considering this angle X will be twice the angle at our circumference. So our X will be X equals 80. So if this is 80 here, that means here will be 40 and here will also be 40. Now, bearing in mind that OB and OA are our radius. So OB equals radius, which is 8 cm. All right. So we can find the length of MB. MB equals half of AB. Okay. Half of chord AB. Half of chord AB. Since OM is perpendicular and cutting it at 90 degrees. So if we have this triangle now this way as OMB, this is 40 degrees and this will be 8 centimeters. Now this is a right angled triangle. So we can easily find this will act as our X, which is opposite, and this is our Y, which is adjacent. Now we can easily find our opposite. Now, for us to find our opposite, since that's our first question called AB, for us to find our opposite, we are having it as applying our SOHCAHTOA rule. Now, this is sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse, cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. Now, having this in mind, we are looking at, since this is a hypotenuse, our radius is a hypotenuse in this triangle, which of these signs deals with opposite and hypotenuse, which is a sine theta. So this becomes sine 40 equals opposite over hypotenuse, where our opposite is x and the hypotenuse is 8. So this becomes sine 40, which is sine 40, which would give us 0.6428 equals x over 8. So therefore, our x equals 8 times 0.6428 times 8 would give us x equals 5.142 centimeters. That means our MB equals 5.142 centimeters. So therefore, AB would be 2 times MB. Okay? Since MB is half of AB. So our full length will be 2 times our MB. So therefore, AB equals 2 times 5.142, which gives us times 2, which will give us 10.284 centimeters. Now, solving for our perpendicular OM, all right, considering OM, which is going to be adjacent for this triangle, all right. Now, we have it as OM. OM would be adjacent. Okay. Now, we have hypotenuse and adjacent. So our SOHCAHTOA that deals with hypotenuse and adjacent is cos. So cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, now having this becomes cos 40 equals adjacent, which is y, all over our hypotenuse, which is 8. So our cos 40 will give us 0.7660 equals y over 8. So therefore, our y equals 0.7660 times 8, which would be 6.128 centimeters. So the value of the perpendicular OM is 6.128 and our chord AB is 10.284 centimeters. Find the value of A and B in the figure below. Now we have our figures. This is A, B, C, D, and E. Now this is 120, this is 80, all right, and this B, this angle A. Now we are asked to find the value of A and B. Now we know that BCDE is a cyclic quadrilateral, all right. Now, and we know in cyclic quadrilateral that opposite angles are supplementary. That is to say, opposite angles sum up to 180 degrees. So we have this to be angle B would be B equals 180 minus 120. Reason, opposite angles in cyclic quadrilaterals are supplementary. Okay, now since opposite angles in cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary, our B would be 80 minus 120 will give us 60 degrees. Now the value of B will be 60 degrees. Now for our A, we have A. Okay, to find our angle A, let's consider angle ACD, considering triangle ACD. All right, we have A plus B plus D, angle D, which is 80, equals 180. That is going to be sum of angles in the triangle. Sum of angles in a triangle. Okay, now from here we know that our B is 60. This becomes A plus 60 plus 80 equals 180 degrees. So A plus 140 equals 180 degrees. So A equals 180 minus 140, which gives us the value of A to be 40 degrees. So our value of A is 40 degrees and the value of B is 60 degrees. All right, now to our second question. It says, 5 years ago, a father was twice as old as his son. In 4 years' time, the sum of their ages will be 78. Find their present ages. Okay, now 5 years ago, all right, that is 5 years past. So we'll start with let the son's age be X, and the father's age be Y. Now, 5 years ago would be Y minus 5 for the father equals 2 bracket X minus 5 for the son, since it says the father's age was twice that of the son's age. Okay, now opening up this bracket, we have it as Y minus 5 equals 2X minus 10. Collecting like terms, we have 2x minus y, 2x minus y equals 10 minus 5, which will give us 5. All right, now let's call this equation 1. Now, 4 years, in 4 years' time, that is 4 years ahead. So, x, which is the son's age, and y, which will be the father's age, will be y plus 4 equals y plus 4 plus x plus 4 equals 78. Since they say the sum of their ages would be 78 in 4 years' time. Now, opening up a bracket, we would have it as x plus y plus 8 equals 78. So x plus y equals 78 minus 8. So x plus y equals 70. Let's call this equation 2. Now, we have two equations where we have x and y. So we are going to look at elimination method. All right. So if we have 2x minus y equals 5 and x plus y equals 70. All right. Now we have y. Y is equal, so you can eliminate. Now, since they are having different signs, we do what? We add plus. So having a plus here, 2 plus 1 will give us 3x. Y minus y will cancel out, leaving us with 70 plus 5, 75. So therefore, our x equals 75 over 3, which will give us 25 years. So the sum is 25 years. So if the sum is 25 years, we can substitute the value of x into any of these equations. So let's go with equation 2, where we have x plus y equals 70. So when x is 25, 25 plus y equals 70. So therefore, y equals 70 minus 25. So our value of y would be 45 years. So the man is 45 years, while the son is 25 years. All right, guys, with this, we've come to the end of today's class. Hope you enjoyed our lecture. See you in our next class.
Hi, I'm sure you enjoyed the content you just watched. To see more episodes as that, preparing you for your oncoming exams, smash the subscribe button on this channel right now and visit the playlist that we've made for you, covering over 50 types of different exams, including JAMB, WAEC, Kakao,